Bonjour, I'm Karen.
I'm Tim.
And this is Living a French Life. So the first part of the kitchen we started working on was the cantou. And it really is the most important part of any home 354 years ago.
That's true. There's a reason they call it the hearth, because it is the heart of the house.
It's true. It provides where we cook, provides our heat for our home, and it's the place where a whole family would congregate. They spent most of their time when they were inside, literally inside the cantou. It's here where they would do their cooking, where they would sit for their warmth, usually slept by the fire, and we had a cantou in its original state when we bought the house.
Yes, and while it was really tremendous, as you can see by the photo, did not really suit our needs.
No, well, we had to get rid of all of the old render or plaster that was on the cantou because it covered up all of the stone. So that really was the first thing we did, was to take off all the old plaster, which was a mess, and reclaim the stone and repoint.
And of course there was the brick wall over here.
Oh yes, there was a brick wall on this side. It wasn't stone because obviously it was going into the house, and there was a little space where they had stored wood that we reclaimed to have here in the kitchen.
And we had, there were bricks up above us on the paneling.
Yes.
We have replaced all that using cut-offs from the floor, because that's how you do.
Yes, exactly. That old stone was, the old brick was uneven, and it was covered with plaster.
So it came out beyond the mantle.
Yeah.
It was kind of dumb.
We thought maybe we would replaster that space, but we wound up just
rebuilding
taking
the
it
whole
all
thing.
up,
Yeah.
brick by brick. You removed it, and then we rebuilt, and then installing the mantle. This is the original mantle.
Did I get any video of that?
Oh gosh, I hope so. It's the original mantle, so we took it off. This is the original mantle that was in the house when we bought it. And it was one of the first things we took down and stored away, knowing that we were going to restore it and put it back in its original place. And today's that day. Actually, this is the underside of the bottom portion of the mantle. And the reason that it's so dark is from all of the fires over the centuries that took place in the hearth. And actually, it was never finished. This is the part that was the actual shelf portion. And it's kind of, kind of cool. We're gonna keep the patina and lose the cobwebs. And sanded it, and I cleaned it and went through that laborious process, and then you had to put the mantle back.
And well, in the year that it was stored, it developed its own shape.
Yes, it went beyond warpage.
It was like, whoop.
Oh my gosh, it was just crazy. And so I don't know how, but somehow you managed to muscle that thing back into that space.
Lots of 2x4s,
Yep.
hammers, pry bars. It was ridiculous. And I just had to live with what I could do. But let's not forget the big project back here, which was you doing all of this stone, doing all the joint on the stone.
Yeah. I must have been a mason in a previous life. It was a challenge, but everybody kind of got engaged, even when they came to visit. Everybody has a little part of the stone that we did. Originally, we were going to put another pillar in and make the cantou symmetrical.
Right.
And then we were going to have two niches to add more storage, and I don't know, I just felt like it had to be symmetrical. But then our neighbor, who said, no, you want to get rid of all the old render and then extend the stone right to the door. Of course, he said so in French, but you get the point. And it was the right move to do.
Yeah, as you can see, it looks really terrific.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I can't ever think about doing it any other way. One of the things that's most important for us is storage. And I think it's something you need to consider right from the start of any project that you're doing, but especially in a kitchen. And so try and think about the things that you want to store and where that's going to be. And here in the Cantou, we wanted to put everything together that we would be using here in this zone for the kitchen. So in go all my baking things and my casserole pots, frying pans, any kinds of spices and oils that we use readily needed to be here in this space.
Yes, we have a large lack of cabinets.
Well, cabinets are expensive, so that's part of the reason. But the other reason is because we have a master carpenter. A master carpenter who can take my pins from my Pinterest collection, and I can say, hey honey, can you put this? And lo and behold, he makes it.
Yes, well, and Karen, of course, has a problem. I guess it's good that she doesn't bring home puppies every other week, but if we go to any kind of a brocante or Vita Grenier, or we got a couple of little reclamation yards that we really like, and she is saying, oh, I like that board. Oh, that table. You mean that one that's in a bunch of pieces on the side? Yeah. And actually tables are great because tables are nice, big, wide boards.
Volume of wood.
And you can really do some great things. And they're cheap.
And they're oak.
Yeah. We bought this oak table that was in pieces for €5. And
everything's €5.
Everything's €5. That's like the price.
Yeah.
And and I've made so many things out of it, and I still got a ton of the oak down in the cough.
Yeah.
This cabinet over here was made out of an old solid shutter that Karen found, and I took it apart, ripped down the pieces, and made these nice little drawers. And all of Karen's little cutlery is all stored in here. It's really terrific. Down here, another shelf that Karen found. She said, oh, I love this shelf. And, okay, great, we'll put it in there.
I don't even think it was a shelf. It was a
board. It was a board.
Something.
I don't know. Yeah. The surrounds are really kind of interesting. They're made out of a product called Ciparex, which is kind of a concrete product, but very very lofty. It's
lightweight.
Very lightweight, easy to cut with a saw, with a hand saw, and really solid. And so we did that. Takes plaster like a champ, and Karen is the expert plasterer.
Yes, I did that plastering.
Yes.
It looks great.
Came out great.
Storage is really important, so try to find every little bit of space you can in order to store the things you really use daily and that you love. Yeah. And here's a little example. Here inside this cupboard to the left side of our Cantou has been great storage, and these were leftover shelves from the armoire, so they were just cut-offs that Tim made and designed. And I had specific things that I needed to store. Like one of my most prized possessions that we use all the time is this beautiful pizza peel that a dear friend made for me for my birthday when we lived in Hawaii. And so I knew I needed something tall enough to store the pizza peel until it found a space to hang. And this has been fabulous. This is made by Glideware. And again, I am not an affiliate. I just love this tool. And it allows us to store all of our pots and pans easily, within reach, everything we need. So in designing this space, I thought about what I had. I made sure that everything fit that I wanted, but not so full that it made it difficult to access the things you need. If something comes in, that means something has to go out. Also, there's still other storage possibilities here. Hey, honey, we could hang the potato masher and maybe a couple of other things here.
Put it on the punch list.
On the punch list it goes. But again, for storage, think about what you have that you want to keep, and then make sure you create the space for that.
Of course, the star of the Cantou is the Esse Cookstove. It was really terrific. If you want to know more about that, check out the video that we did about the installation of the Cookstove. It's terrific. One of the key things we had to make sure was that you had all the right tools for if you're going to heat with wood. We've got a fire extinguisher on hand, very close by. And we, of course, have our metal ash bucket so that any errant coals don't cause any problems. We're going to be shutting down the stove in a few days. It's getting towards summer. And for the summer, we have a cooktop that we put over here that gives us 2 burners, and it's electric, and it allows us to do the things inside that we need to do. But we really kind of have a different menu in the summer. A lot of grilling outside, a lot of salads, fresh vegetables, and I drink a little more pastis, so it works out great. So that, in essence, is the Cantou.
We love it. It is really still the very heart of our home.
Oh, absolutely. We love it. The cats love it, especially when we have a fire going.
It took us a long time to do. 2.5 years to finally finish the Cantou with every little bit that was going into it. Mm-hmm. But worth it.
Yeah. Next time on Living a French Life, the kitchen reveal continues.
Oh, we gonna show them the sink?
Okay.
Yeah,
The
because
sink.
you know why?
Why?
Because that's the other really important historical feature in the house. There were 2. You know, it's a very simple house. You know, no great crown molding, no super doors or windows. But we had the Cantou and we had the sink.
It's good. So that's going to wrap it up because my pants are on fire.
À la prochaine fois.
It's a pretty clean morning. Take a walk outside, and I'm about to fly. Worry no more, my friends know.
Now I just have to make a salad and we got lunch. I think this might be the last burn for the season.
Oh, you mean I get to clean the wood stove?
Well, it's yes, honey. That is what that means.
Oh, wow, it's hot.
It's a new day for me.